Hi, it's the 1st of January. Well, as things turned out, I worked the whole day today from like 8 till 9:30 at night, and I basically, as I was coming out of the car that my job dropped me off on, ouch, my cats are biting me. My job gave us a ride home because Friday night there's no transportation, so the car pulls up next to my house, and I get out, and the car leaves, and as I'm coming out, this weird freak, he's like, says Shabbat Shalom to me. So I say Shabbat Shalom back. Then I noticed that he kept staring at me, and he tried to talk to me, but I didn't really respond. I just ignored him and started walking. And what? Stop crying. You have everything you need. So basically, they had dropped me off right in front of my apartment building, but I didn't want the guy to see where I live, so I walked around the block to the back of the building. And this guy, I wanted to see if he would stop following me, because he had started following me, and he followed me all the way to the back of my building, to the backyard, and I was the only one in the backyard, and he's standing there by the entrance, like, I'm in the backyard trying to enter my house. Like, I wanted to enter the building, but he saw where I live, so he was standing there outside the building. And I didn't want him to see which apartment I lived in, so I said to him, go away, I don't want to talk to you. Go away. He wanted to talk to me, I don't know what he wanted. I said, leave me alone, go away. He said, no. He's like, I don't want to go away. He's like, no, I'm allowed to stay here. He's like, I'm not trying to hurt you. I want to help you, you know. I said, if you don't go away, I'm going to call the police. So I told him a few times. I said to him, I was like scared, you know. I was like, I don't want this guy to know where I live, you know. Like, I don't know what he wants. He started to touch his buckle in his shirt, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what he's gonna do, you know. This crazy guy. So I said to him, if you don't go away, leave me alone, I'm gonna call the police. So he said, I'm allowed to be here. And he's like, I'm the police, I'm part of the police. So I said to him, okay, I'm calling the police. So I thought I was calling the police, but I called 101 instead of 100, which was the ambulance. So I said, hi, is this the police? And they're like, no, this is not the police, this is the ambulance. So I'm like, what is the number to the police? So they're like 100. So I call 100, and the police kept transferring me, you know, because no one knew English. Yeah, very helpful. And so as they're transferring me, finally I got through to the guy that speaks English, and he's like, tell me, describe the man to me that's harassing you. I said, I told this guy to go away. He's not going away. He's by my house. He's not leaving me alone. I told him I'm gonna call the police, and he's still standing here. So the guy's like, what does he look like? So I said, yeah, he's skinny, he's tall, he has a narrow face, his nose is sharp and skinny, he has glasses, he's whatever. So they said, okay, where's your address? So I told them my address, and then I'm like, oh, I'm in the back of the building, you have to come through. So they're like, okay, hold on a second. I'm like, oh, he's leaving now. He saw that I was talking to the police, so he decided that he wants to go suddenly. So the guy goes, he starts walking away from my building in the back, and he enters another apartment building right next to mine, and he's standing there on the steps, and then he comes down from the steps, and I'm like, yeah, he's right here, and then he starts walking quickly back the way I came through the back to the front, and the police were there. And I was on the phone with the police. So I'm like, yeah, I said, this is me. I'm like, that's him. You know, I'm like, I don't want him to get away. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what he's capable of, you know. And I was like really rattled because like this is not something I wanted to happen right when I get home from work, you know. And I live alone, so I love living alone. But like, if I had opened my door and he's like right behind me and he decides, I don't know, you know, so the police, they're like, what's your problem? What do you want? And they took me into the building away from him. And then they got me on the phone with someone and they asked me if I want to press charges. So I said yes. Now it's 12:30 at night, 12:30 a.m. So they said, okay, so come down with us to the police station. So I go to the police station, and they made me wait there. At first I spoke to one guy, and I told him the whole story, and I repeated it like 10 times, you know, and then finally finally at 12 o'clock at night, because they had a lot going on, and I was having like a panic attack in the police office. I was like having a hard time breathing, you know, because I was stressed. And so finally at 12 at night, basically they asked him for his ID. They took him in the other room, they asked him for his ID, and he didn't have one. They didn't, he said he's not from here. Well, I feel like I've seen him around, you know. So I told the police, I said, I've seen him, I think I've seen him around, you know. I said, I don't want to be bothered, you know, like, no one's gonna fuck with me anymore. No one's gonna fuck with me, you know. You're gonna behave a certain way, you're gonna pay the consequences. So they're holding him there overnight in the police station. He's arrested, you know. And I kind of felt bad because I don't know who this guy is. Maybe he doesn't have bad intentions, but maybe he didn't mean any harm, you know. But if I say go away, you know. And so I told the police, I said to them, I said, I don't mean to waste your time or anything. Like, I was so nervous that, look at my finger, I didn't realize I peeled the skin off, you know? You know, when you live alone, you kind of gotta look out for yourself and be an adult, you know? Which is not easy. So, the police officer, he's like, you know, he didn't do anything, like, technically, he didn't commit a crime, so they can't really press charges, but they can do a restraining order on him, you know, once they get his information, and he can't come near me, you know, so I'm like, okay, that's good enough, you know, I don't need this freak harassing me. I don't know what he wants from me. He won't leave me alone. You know, I told him a few times, I said, go away, or I'm going to call the police. Go away, or I'm going to call the police. And he wouldn't go away. And I didn't want him to see where I live, so, which apartment, you know, so. I told the police, I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting, but, like, I feel rattled, you know. And he's like, well, we spoke to him, and he's not really a normal guy. We could see that, so he's like, you know, if he was a normal guy, maybe I'd think you're just wasting our time, but we see he's not really normal, so, like, he didn't have his ID on him. I said, well, it's Shabbat, so, like, I don't think anyone's gonna carry their ID on them on Shabbat, you know, but he's like, no, he's just not normal. I told the police officer, I said, just because someone doesn't, I said, I don't judge people, you know, I'm not a judgmental person. You could be weird. The police said, yeah, he's a weirdo. I said, look, I don't judge people. You could be a weirdo. You know, I'm a weird myself, but don't bother me. You know, you want to be weird and harass yourself, but just don't harass other people. You know, don't be weird on me. Go away, you know? So I got, after waiting there like 2 hours, I got a restraining order on him. I mean, they're gonna do an investigation, and they're gonna get a restraining order on him that he can't harass me, come near me. And as I was leaving, I told the police, I said, thank you so much for your time. And I'm like, okay, is he out on the street now? You know, because I'm a little scared. I said, I'm nervous, you know, I don't want anyone following me, I don't want anyone bothering me. So the police said, no, he's arrested for the night, so until we can find out what's his issue, you know. So you could go home, you're fine. So I came home, and oh my god, it's like to be home. One of the police officers, he's like, you live alone? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you need to get married. You need a big guy to protect you. I said, no. I said, no guys want me. Only the crazy ones, you know? I said, they're all useless. So the police, I said, do you think I should carry like pepper spray or mace or whatever? And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. But he's like, you know, Jerusalem is pretty safe, you know? Like, you don't need to worry too much because it's not New York. You know, I'm from New York, so like New York, there's a lot of crime, you know. And they're right, this place is pretty safe, you know, but I don't want to be harassed, you know. Just don't fuck with me. Just don't. I'm gonna do what it takes to do what I need to do to get you to behave, you know. So I was at the police station, so I texted my sister. I hope I didn't worry her too much, but I'm like, I have no one else to talk to, you know. So I told her, thanks for listening. I don't need to worry you. I'm totally fine. I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself, you know. I take care of myself. I do. And all the girls out there, take care of yourself, you know. Doesn't matter where you are. Anyone gonna harass you and scare you and intimidate you or follow you, be safe and don't let anyone fuck with you. That's all. Have a good night.